Mahabharata Episode 2, The Blind King, the Pale King, and the Wise One. The Mahabharata is not just a tale of war, it is the story of family, of brothers and sons, of mothers and queens. And in families, the fiercest battles are not fought with swords, but with promises, fears, and the weight of destiny. In our last episode, Bhishma swore his terrible vow. For his father's love, he renounced the throne and all descendants of his own. The vow was noble, the vow was honored, but it left Hastinapura without a true heir. The river of destiny flowed on, searching for a place to break its banks. The fall of two kings after Shantanu's death, the throne passed to his sons by Queen Satyavati. The elder was Chitrangada, bold, fiery, restless. He carried the pride of a young lion, but pride invites challenge. He quarreled with the Gandharva king, another Chitrangada, equal in name but not in fate. The duel raged with fury, weapons flashing, warriors circling. In the end, the mortal king fell, his life cut short. The throne passed to his younger brother Vichitravirya, but this king was not a warrior. He was weak in body, fragile in spirit. Though Bhishma secured for him two queens, Ambika and Ambolika, Vichitravirya died young, leaving no heir to kings fallen, no son to inherit the throne. The court of Hastinapura grew silent with dread. Satyavati's secret. It was then that Satyavati, the queen mother, revealed a secret. Before her marriage to Shantanu, she had borne a child, a son fathered by the sage Parashara. That son was Vyasa. Unlike the princes of Hastinapura, Vyasa was no courtly figure. He lived in the forests, his body darkened by sun and wind, his hair unkempt, his gaze fierce with knowledge. He was a sage, a man of power, but his presence unsettled the delicate hearts of queens. Yet it was he who could save the dynasty. Satyavati pleaded with him, "My son, the line of Bharata cannot end here. Go to the queens, and by your union, give heirs to the throne." Vyasa agreed, but fate, once invited, does not come gently. The birth of Dhritarashtra, the first queen, was ambiguous. When Vyasa entered her chamber, she was overcome with dread. His matted hair, his fierce eyes, his rough form. She could not bear the sight. She shut her eyes tightly, trembling in fear. And so it was that her child, born months later, entered the world in darkness. Strong, mighty in body, his arms thick, his chest broad, but blind. His eyes had never opened. This was It was said he had the strength of 10,000 elephants, but all the power of his body could not give him sight. The first heir had come, but the whispers began. Can a blind man be king? The birth of Pandu, the second queen, Ambolika, took her turn. She did not close her eyes. But when she saw Vyasa, fear drained the blood from her face. Her body paled, her lips trembled, and so her child was born pale and weak. He would grow into a fine warrior, agile with the bow, fierce in battle, but his life would always carry the mark of fragility. His destiny would one day be sealed with a curse. This was Pandu, the second heir, a man born to fight, but not to rule in peace. The birth of Vidura. At last Satyavati begged Vyasa once more. "We need one more chance, a son without flaw," but Ambika and Ambika refused. Their hearts were shaken, their courage gone. They would not face the sage again. Instead, a humble maid of the palace stepped forward. She welcomed Vyasa without fear. She did not shut her eyes, she did not pale. She accepted him with calmness and respect. And from her was born a third son. He was not of royal blood. His mother was a servant, not a queen, but in his eyes shone wisdom. His words carried clarity, his heart held justice. This was Vidura, brothers of fate. Thus were born the three brothers who would shape the next chapter of Hastinapura. Dhritarashtra, the blind, powerful, but sightless. Pandu, the pale, a warrior marked by weakness. Vidura, the wise, noble in spirit, but denied the crown by birth. They were brothers, yet fate had divided them from the moment of birth. In time, Dhritarashtra would be given the throne, though doubt always followed him. Pandu would rise as a commander, leading armies to victory, yet destiny would one day cut him down. And Vidura, though never crowned, would remain the voice of truth in the court. A voice often ignored. Closing Hastinapura was saved. The line of Bharata lived on. The people cheered that the kingdom had heirs again. But beneath the joy lay a shadow. For a throne built on blindness, frailty, and denied wisdom cannot stand unshaken. From Dhritarashtra would come the 100 sons of the Kauravas, fierce and jealous. From Pandu would come the 5 sons of the Pandavas, guided by Dharma, yet bound by struggle. And Vidura, childless, would remain the conscience of the court. The great war of Kurukshetra had not yet begun, but its first sparks were already glowing. In the next episode, we will hear the cries of those sons at their birth. The Pandavas and the Kauravas will enter the world, and from the very moment of their birth, omens will reveal that joy and tragedy were already entwined.